Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Welcome to the Think Unbroken podcast. I'm your host, Michael Unbroken, and this podcast is about helping trauma survivors let go of the past, overcome their fear, discover their identity, become the hero of their own story, and ultimately to be unbroken. Our goal in company is to bring on guests and experts in the fields of mental, physical, and psychological health to help you overcome the past, to take back your power. And in this podcast, we are unedited and unfiltered, and we're going to give it to you real so that you can start to create massive change in your life. If you're curious about learning more outside the podcast, you can get a free copy of my book, Think Unbroken, at book.thinkunbroken.com. That's book.thinkunbroken.com, where you can get a copy of my #1 best-selling book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma. The most important thing that you can ever do, my friends, is show up for yourself, and that's where you are today. And I appreciate you. I have massive gratitude for you. And without further ado, let's get into the show. We'll be right back to the show, but before we do, I want to take a moment and tell you about my new book, Unbroken Man, A Man's Guide to Being the Hero of Their Own Story. I sat down a few months ago and realized that there are so many men in the world that need guidance, that need support, that need to learn about trauma, removing themselves from toxic masculinity, breaking down the barriers to vulnerability, getting unstuck, and ultimately learning the tools to become the hero of their own story. Unbroken Man is available for pre-order right now if you go to men.thinkunbroken.com, where you'll also get access to over $1,000 in bonuses, including the 6-week in-depth trauma healing coaching app, which you'll get instant access to. I created Unbroken Man to be accessible to everyone around the world, but it is written for men from the guise of a man, and I hope that you will find it to be a practical tool on your healing journey in the same way that thousands of men around the world have. So check out men.thinkunbroken.com to pre-order, and until next time, be unbroken.
The problem with that, well, the best part of it is that it keeps you safe, right? I think we can all agree because we're all live listening to this right now. Thank you, brain. Take a moment. Let's thank our brains. I thank my brain every single time. Thank you, brain. It's been a motherfucker getting me here. I appreciate you. I know we got more work to do, but thank you. Guys, be grateful for your brain, please. I know it's a pain in the ass sometimes, but it's got you to where you are. So a little love for you. And so the downside of this is that when your brain starts to recognize the stimulus that says, I am unsafe, well, it removes it from the possibility of you doing it, because ultimately survival is the most important thing. So if the brain equates your behaviors, your identities, the way that you speak, the way that you act, the way that you talk, the way that you behave, the way that you make mistakes or learn are things that are negative, the brain will tell you that is unsafe. Don't do that. Think about this for a second. Maybe just briefly go through the Rolodex of memories in your head in which you were faced with this moment that you learned it's unsafe to be you. Think about what happened. I remember one very specifically when I was, I don't know, probably 10 or 11. I was reading the newspaper. And in the newspaper, there was horoscopes, right? And I didn't really know or understand what that was, but there were all of the titles associated with each month of what you are. Like, so I was born in October, I'm Libra, right? You're a Taurus, Aquarius, whatever. So I'm going through, I'm reading the horoscopes, and I'm trying to go through it. And my baby brother, my youngest brother, he was born in March. And so that's obviously, I don't say obviously Pisces, but it's Pisces. And so as I'm reading the newspaper, I actually say theses, because that's what it looked like in the phonetics. I was like, oh, that's PHS, right? So I'm going through it, I'm sounding it out. I say this, and my stepdad freaks out on me, right? I don't even know what the word feces means at this point in my life, right? Nor the word Pisces. Actually, I still don't know the word Pisces. Yeah, I don't know what Pisces means. No judgment, no shame. And so I'm going through this, reading this, and in that moment, he just smacked me in the face so incredibly hard, and I didn't understand why. Like, why would that happen? Why would I have to experience this physical pain as I'm trying to learn and develop something? Okay, so let's look at this causation and correlation, right? I'm laying out my story because I'm hoping that in this you will have a better understanding of those experiences in your own life that have led you to a place that involved me. So when you look at and you understand that in this situation, your brain evaluates this experience and it says, all right, when I try to do something like read aloud, sounding out words that I do not understand so that I can understand them, there's pain and embarrassment. Thus, what will happen is that you will no longer want to do that. And I can track this. I wish as a child I would have had someone teach me what I'm about to say, because it would have been really incredible to learn. So I had been going through elementary school and doing spelling bees, every Friday, and winning all the time. Like, probably so often that the other kids resented me, which I actually believe is true, which is understandable, right? When you're a kid, you don't know better. You're trying to figure this out, and this one person keeps winning these freaking spelling bees. And then this moment happens with trying to sound out Pisces. And immediately after, I stopped entering, like it was like probably this next upcoming week, I stopped doing the spelling bees. And my teacher, I remember, her name was Miss Thompson. She came up to me and she's like, why don't you enter the spelling bees? You're doing such a good job, you need to be in them. And I just said, as most children do in that situation, I go, I don't know. And she's trying to push me back into it. She's like, you're doing such a good job. You're winning. You're getting all these gold stickers on the chart. And if you guys remember the Pizza Hut personal pan pizzas that came in the little brown boxes as a kid, that were unbelievably delicious and simultaneously bad for you, were like, for me, like one of my favorite things. Like, I could not wait. I literally wanted to win for food. Now, there's a lot of context behind that. Growing up in poverty, I won't get into the details of that. You guys have heard that story. But she's trying to get me to come back and do these spelling bees. I keep telling her, no, I don't want to do this. And finally, she says to me, you don't have to do this. You're not forced to do this. But you should do this. I didn't understand what she was saying. I'm like 11 years old. I have no idea.
We'll be right back to this episode of the Think Unbroken podcast in just a moment, but I wanted to invite you to come and join the Think Unbroken Discord community. If you don't know about Discord, it's being built on Web3, which is a platform that we as the users get to own. So no more Instagram or Facebook or algorithms getting in the way of you seeing and being a part of content. In the Discord channel, we're going to grow this to hundreds of thousands of community members, hopefully over time. But today, it's small, it's close, it's intimate, where you'll be able to get access to live coaching with me, where you'll have chat with the Unbroken Nation community, where you can talk about a range of topics, anywhere from thinking about habits and growth mindset, goals, trauma, recovery, dating, relationships, career, accountability, business, meditation, feedback, and more. And so all you have to do is go to thinkunbroken.com/discord. That's thinkunbroken.com/discord. That's DISCORD to join the Unbroken Nation community.
So I no longer continue to do them that part of the year. And I realized at some point, this was probably 5 or 6 years ago in therapy, I was sharing this story with a therapist. Then he goes, you realize, like, you stop wanting to do uncomfortable things in public because of the abuse that you suffered around that moment. And I was like, shit. You're spot on. I no longer wanted to do anything publicly. And when I measure a lot of the experiences of my youth, of my school years, of my early 20s, it was like I did not want to be the center of attention in any capacity. And I realized that is such a direct correlation in that moment of being embarrassed, of being like, it's not okay, it's painful, and it's hurtful for me to be wrong. Your brain adds that up. Think about this. If your brain is taking those experiences, it's looking at what has happened in your life, it's measuring them and trying to understand and make meaning of those experiences, to categorize them in a way that helps you be safe and navigate the world, then it's going to look at an experience like that and tell you, actually, you shouldn't do this thing. And this is a thing I was good at, right? I was good at spelling bees, I was good at spelling, I was good in my English class or whatever. And because of this interaction with my stepfather, because of the physical pain of that moment, what happened is my brain evaluated him. I said, you cannot do this again. And so I shut down. for a very, very long time in this thing that I really enjoyed. Like, that brought me joy. That was a part of my personality. As a kid, I was competitive. So many of you know I'm competitive as an adult. But there was this huge gap where my competitiveness had got put to the side, where my identity started getting stripped away even more about competitive things or public things or trying to figure out how to navigate something I didn't understand. This is why you see so many people who, when they are at the apex or the precipice of doing something unknown, they quit. Because the association is doing this thing that I am not proficient at will cause me to be embarrassed. Thus, in light of trying not to be embarrassed, because I equate that at some point in the journey of my life as pain, suffering, possibly experience near death, right? The brain says, don't do this thing subconsciously. And because that is the tie that we have to it, when you're faced with, all right, I want to step into the unknown, we get stuck. Like, that's where stuckness comes from, right? Stuckness comes from the unwillingness to step into the difficulty of the unknown, but it's reasonable that you would be that way if the precedent that was set for stepping into the unknown was pain, and the brain's only purpose is survival. I hope you guys are following this. I hope that you are seeing this track laid out, right? Now, let's fast forward today, where we are. You're watching me live, or if you're listening on the podcast, which thank you very much. If you're watching or listening, you're noticing that I'm doing something uncomfortable and unknown to me. I'm talking about these experiences. I'm live in front of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, which thank you so much. You guys are freaking amazing, are going to listen to this. And yet, I still have this experience of the past that had informed me of the potential of making a mistake could equal pain. So how does that take you from where you were? Let me rephrase that. So how does healing take you from where you were in the experiences of your childhood to where you are today in this real life experience? The truth is, you have to be willing to do two things in this life. I think you have to be willing to do two things. One, you have to be willing to no longer justify who you are to people, to anyone. As long as you're operating in alignment with who you are, your moral character, your wants, needs, and interests, and your values. And if that holds true, and I honestly think across the board, you do not have to justify yourself. The other, probably more important, I should have started here, is recognizing that the way that you step through changing and understand the truth that the brain is incredibly malleable. The brain is incredibly plastic. And what that means is that you have the ability to change your own thoughts. And I'm going to rewind this. I want that to be number one. I should have said that first, so I apologize. You, just through your thoughts alone, can change your brain forever. And when you start to associate the experiences that you're having right now about who you are and who you are working to become in positive ways, your brain starts to physically change. You can watch this on MRI scans. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, who I'm very, very excited about coming on Being Unbroken, talks about this in depth. And this incredible measurement for looking at life through this ability to simply be positive and watch the brain change.
Unbroken Nation, hope that you just got a tremendous amount of value from today's episode. I want to know what you think. please do me a favor and review, rate, and share the episode with 3 friends on social media today. It would mean the world if you did, because ultimately at the end of the day, creating community and connection is how we heal generational trauma in the world. And I need your help to do that, Unbroken Nation. So if you're on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you are, please like, comment, share, review. I want to know not only what you like about the show, but how I can make the show better, how I can make this further about helping you on your healing journey. So do me a favor. And when you do, shoot me a screenshot of you making the review to my DM at Michael Unbroken on Instagram so that I can have a conversation with you, say hi, and more importantly, so I can share it with the Unbroken Nation. Thank you so much, my friend. We'll be right back, but I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about the Think Unbroken 6-week trauma healing coaching program. If you go to coaching.thinkunbroken.com, that's coaching.thinkunbroken.com, you can sign up for the 6-week daily Think Unbroken Trauma Healing Coaching Program. In this program, we're going to go over the 6 principles of healing trauma, adaptation, understanding the impacts of trauma, how to become the hero of your own story, what to do next, and ultimately what it means to be unbroken. For more information about this 6-week coaching program, which you can download as an app on your phone and take with you everywhere, no matter where you are in the world, it's interactive. It's built about giving you practical tools that you can use in real time. And if you're ready for what's next in your life, go to coaching.thinkunbroken.com. Again, that's coaching.thinkunbroken.com. Now let's get back to the show. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.